It's been fun, Eggman, but I'm getting tired. I think it's time to go home. Hello everyone, I am Third Mario Brother, and welcome back to Sonic Colors. In the last episode, we finished up the asteroid coaster, meaning that we have unlocked the final world, and we are about to finish up Sonic Colors. So, let's pay a visit to Dr. Eggman himself and finish this game.
That fool Sonic thinks he's won because he destroyed all my generators. Well, the mind control cannon is full enough for what it has to do. I will have the last laugh!
The last laugh? How is laughing last special? Isn't that like being the slowest one to get the joke?
Yeah, I laugh last all the time. People look at me like I'm an idiot. Forget about it.
That's because you are an idiot.
You talking to me?
Yes, I'm talking to you. There's nobody else here, so I must be talking to you. Why haven't we fixed your voice chip yet?
Yo, quit busting my batteries over here. I've been working on it all day.
What does that even mean? Oh, never mind. In a few seconds, it won't matter anyway, since the world will have only one thing on its mind.
What's that, boss?
Me. This can't be happening! It's backfiring! Impossible! How? Ta-da!
Yo, what do you mean impossible? Your plans have been crushed by Sonic for like, ever. He stops you like it's his job or something. In fact, I can't remember a plan he didn't stop.
What are you talking about? He hasn't stopped all of them.
Name one.
Read the attention pad.
Thank you, buddy! Hey, my voice! It's back! All right!
Ah, there's the sweet sound my auditory processors know and love.
Now I remember why we changed his voice chip. No matter. I may have suffered a setback, but this thing's far from over. I will crush Sonic!
The man gets an A for effort, that's for sure!
Cute as Orbot and Cubot are, I think it's time we make our leave.
Hey, Tails.
Yeah?
I got a bad feeling about this.
Good, so it's not just me.
When I feel the ground shaking under my feet and see plumes of dust rising and rubble tumbling and aliens running for their lives, yeah, I get a bad feeling. So, how about you and me make like Eggman's hairline and recede?
This isn't joke time. This is running to the space elevator time.
Sorry, couldn't help myself. We're out of here.
Yeah, running now.
And this, everybody, is, in classic Sonic fashion, Dr. Eggman's last-ditch attempt to get us destroyed and to defeat Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, this one in particular, not so much. There are robots running after us, and we're going to have to avoid all these lasers and stuff, but really the biggest danger here is that everything is getting destroyed around us, which isn't really part of Eggman's master plan. Go figure. But we are on sort of a final rush sort of stage where we have to just go forward and make our way out of here. Unfortunately, this gigantic elevator thing is extremely long, and we have to look out for all of the trials and all of the enemies that are along the way. On this level in particular, you don't have to worry too much about, like, holding the holding forward on the control stick. I don't know why I couldn't say that. But you don't have to worry about holding forward on the control stick because you're going to be running forward at the same speed regardless of what you do there. But it does get a little bit more difficult than this. Actually, I might be thinking of the wrong level, but for now, we just have to worry about these moto bugs, and these guys will juke the crap out of you if you're not careful. These guys are going to sit here and taunt us this entire time and pretend like they're coming forward, but nope. They are not that stupid. They are not dumb enough to run right into Sonic's backside most of the time. Actually, this time, it seems like they're doing that a little bit more than they usually do. But you can use your boost as well to pull ahead of them a little bit. And you get ranked on these levels. These are actual acts. So, if you want like an S rank and stuff like that, you're going to have to worry about the normal points gathering and not losing your rings and all of that type of shenanigans. So, this guy right here, I said that this level was going to get more difficult. And it turns out I wasn't thinking of the wrong one. Because this guy from a previous level is back. And he is as annoying as ever. Perhaps more annoying, actually. Because if you pull too far ahead of him, you won't be able to see his lasers. Not currently, but moto bugs are going to begin chasing us in a moment, and when they do, that's when you're going to encounter problems, because the camera is going to change, so you have to be sure not to pull too far ahead of him, or else you're not going to know where to dodge to in order to remain safe and not lose all of your rings if you're going for a decent rank. If you aren't going for a decent rank and you just sort of want to get to the end of the level, I guess it's not that big of a deal, but oh no! I lost him like right at the end. Are you kidding me? I am so done. That sucks, man. We could have had like an S. Instead, we're just gonna have to settle for a puny little A. Really? I had like 200 rings. We would have had an S rank if we hadn't got hit there right at the very end. Always so annoying, but that does it for the first act of the world that's going to end off Sonic Colors for us. But it's not over quite yet. As you guys can see, there are 3 spaces on this overworld, but already we're facing the boss? Okay, I guess that one in the corner must be extraneous then. Let's get to it.
Time to bail!
There are no lines, and I've saved the best rides for last. At least let me stab your hand so you can come back in.
I know you're trying to be clever with this whole amusement park pun thing, but it's just coming off lame. So just say you're going to destroy us and stop embarrassing yourself.
Curse you, Sonic! Not only do you foil my plans, but you foil my speeches as well. I work hard on them. No matter. I will destroy you, and I will be victorious. Is that better?
Like a million times better. Thank you.
This robot is special. He's powered by the energy from your little friends. He is invincible. So I'd say it's been nice knowing you, but it hasn't.
I have to admit I'm a little scared. I don't think we can beat this guy.
See you on the ground, buddy.
Huh? Sonic, no!
Just got one last thing to do. As for you...
And here we go, the boss of Terminal Velocity and the final boss of Sonic Colors. We are facing off with Dr. Eggman himself in quite a daunting looking machine, if I do say so myself. Look at this thing. He has absorbed energy from all of the Wisps, and he is using all of them against us. All those powers that we thought were so cool throughout the course of the game are now being used in his favor and against us. Unfortunately, he has captured all of our friends, and he can use Spike, Laser, Hover, you name it, against us right now. However, he doesn't actually make explicit use of, like, Hover or Rocket or Frenzy. I guess it can kind of be assumed that Hover is helping him stay in the air and Rocket is, like, his boost power that allows him to navigate or something like that. And maybe that Frenzy is just for the evil appearance and it adds extra power or something like that. Other than that, he is using everything. You guys just saw he used Cube against us. His first one he used against us was Spike. And you can be sure that he'll be using Laser in the future, so look forward to that. As we do damage to him, though, we actually get Wisps by our side. We free them, and they run alongside us, and it's so cool. It gives such a climactic feeling to this battle. It makes it feel so much more important, but eventually he will begin combining power-ups, which actually is really dangerous. And this one, ooh, barely dodged that. Apparently, I don't have the best geometric sense in the world because, I am not especially good at dodging cube and laser. Laser will essentially work like you would expect it to if Sonic was using it when Eggman uses it here, because it'll go from cube to cube or whatever. But keep in mind that you only have a limited like opportunity to attack him. You have to homing attack him a couple times, and then afterward it's not especially clear, but right after you attack him in his egg-shaped dome right there, you will have the opportunity to boost right into him. And that's sort of hinted to by the fact that you get boost power when you homing attack him right there. So, it looks like he's probably only got one hit left, but in classic Eggman fashion, he will get more difficult the more damage you do to him. You can see, at first he was only shooting 2 spikes, and they were going sort of slower. Now he's shooting 3, and these cube things are a heck of a lot longer than they would have been earlier in the battle, and I just got smacked right there, even though I was not planning on that being part of my amusement park experience. And here, this is actually quite difficult to dodge right at the end. You have to make short hops, and there we go. We made it. What's he going to do? More spikes? Okay, if you utilize the double jump, you can usually jump over 2 at once, but don't get too overzealous there because it can be a problem. Anyway, here we go. Smack him one more time. I like how you get that eye contact with him. That is so cool. But that does it for Eggman's machine.
You horrid little hedgehog!
Unlimited colors. Laser, thrill, spike, rocket, you, power, frenzy. Final color blast.
And there we go. We have defeated Dr. Eggman and freed the Wisps truly this time, once and for all. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves some 1-ups before we end off the game, because why not? Can we get the second one? Please tell me we're not going to miss the second one on the last possible opportunity. There we go.
My head! Who turned out the lights?
At Eggman's incredible interstellar amusement park, you can feel comfortable knowing your safety is on number 1.
Oh, shut up!
This might not end well.
And this is the final challenge that we have to face here in Sonic Colors. It's not over quite yet, folks. That's right. There's one last thing that we have to do. Luckily, it's not especially difficult. All we have to do is run to the very end of this elevator and save Sonic from the clutches of eternal death, because that thing behind us is a little bit intimidating looking, and it's kind of catching up really quickly. Are we going to make it? Looks like we're not quite fast enough. Can we do it?
Sonic, are you okay? Man, I can't believe you made it through that.
Like you thought I wouldn't?
The only thing I was thinking about was getting pushed into an elevator.
Well, a hedgehog's gotta do what a hedgehog's gotta do.
Great job, Sonic.
Thanks, but I had a little help during that last part.
for saving us.
You're welcome. Thank you for saving us.
He says you are welcome.
That thing's translating pretty good.
Yep, I finally got all the kinks out. We can talk to them perfectly now. Oh, great. He says, goodbye, my friends, I have to go. Just when I got this thing working.
Better late than never, buddy. Right on.
Oh man, that's always such a heartwarming moment right there at the end. It's like it's straight out of a kid's movie or something like that, and I personally think it is absolutely adorable. But that, my friends, is Sonic Colors, and man, what a wonderful game. I know that's sort of a cliched way to start off the credits and to end off a Let's Play, but I loved this game, honestly, from the cutscenes to the, well, a little bit of the dialogue was a little bit overplayed, but the gameplay itself and this game in general was just such a blast to run through. At the beginning of this Let's Play, I have a confession to make, actually. I had never played through the entire game. I hadn't played through, like, the last world. So I really was kind of taking a gamble beginning this game. But in the end, it turned out the Asteroid Coaster was probably my favorite world in the game. I don't know, that's actually saying quite a bit, considering Starlight Carnival existed. But you know what? Either way, the point is, I began this game taking a little bit of a gamble because so many of you guys had recommended it to me. I said in previous Let's Plays that I hadn't played Sonic Colors before, and man, I had no idea what I was missing out on, because compared to some other Sonic games, this one, especially modern Sonic games, is focused specifically on having fun. It's focused specifically on the gameplay. You can tell because the story isn't something that's big and elaborate, even though it is heartwarming and it is fun to go through and see Eggman interacting with Orbot and Cubot, who are, by the way, some of the best supporting characters in the Sonic series, if I do say so myself. They're just hilarious, and they're not invasive and other things like that. But even though the story was so fun to go through and it's so heartwarming and touching, and I did honestly get attached to Yacker a little bit, it's the gameplay that matters here, and every single level was focused on just having fun. Now, there were some level design mishaps here and there. The fire bar levels weren't especially fun, and there were some levels that, being 30 seconds long, probably could have been lengthened or included within some greater level or something like that. But honestly, this game is just, it's so focused on cutting out all the crap and just being something that is fun to go through. Something that's exciting from beginning to end, and it definitely is. Something that, adds to that feeling are the Wisps. In other Sonic games, for example, Sonic Unleashed, they took, like, the gimmick that they were trying to throw into the game a little bit too far. The Werehog might have been alright sometimes, but the minutes and minutes and minutes that you would spend in single levels got a little bit overbearing at times. The Wisps here, however, and the fact that you could do the worlds in any order that you wanted, made the game feel so much, more easygoing, because you didn't need the Wisps for anything. If you really wanted to, you could get through all the levels without them. They're just small power-ups that make things fun. It's like a Fire Flower to Mario, except a little bit more complex and a little bit more fun than specifically a Fire Flower, in my opinion. But, yeah, I love the Wisps, and I love the fact that they stayed throughout the Sonic series, even into Sonic Lost World, and possibly into future games as well. It doesn't really make too much sense that they're there, considering they all just left to go back home or something. I assume that's what was going on after all the Nega Wisps got turned back to normal and they got rid of all that purple junk in the sky, but it doesn't really make too much logical sense why they're there in the future, but I'm glad they are, because Sonic needs a variety of power-ups, and Wisps fill that void perfectly. Plus, they're so adorable. Look at them flapping their little tentacles down there below. But, what else? Oh, I don't even need to mention at this point. I think I've mentioned it about 150 times throughout the Let's Play. The soundtrack to this game is amazing. Well, I like pretty much every song in this game except the one that's playing right now. The one that's playing right now isn't bad, but especially with the lengthened version like this one for the credits specifically, I'm not a big fan of this song. First time I heard it, This is like the first song in the entire game that I'm not a huge fan of, and I'm gonna leave it there. It is all opinionated, of course, and I'm sure there are some people out there who absolutely love this song, but it's not particularly for me. Every other track in the game, though, from the rockin' tunes of Asteroid Coaster to the more synthesized, super excited tunes of Starlight Carnival and everything in between, and the relaxed overworld music for the water level, whose name I cannot for the life of me remember at the moment, to the oriental sounding intro combined with the later bits of the song in that same level. Oh man, I love the entire soundtrack of this game. Honestly, it adds so much to the mood, and speaking of the mood, that's one of the reasons this game is just so much fun, I think. Not only is the gameplay super fun and the power-ups are super fun to play with, but the music on top of the environment you get visually are just such a great combination, and it feels awesome flying through Starlight Carnival for the first time, and just being part of this environment where you're out in space and you're running around, and it just feels so quick, and it feels so fun, and it feels so, I don't want to say surreal because it's not exactly surreal, it is a video game after all, but it's got such great environments, and the music is a perfect complement to it. Speaking of Reach for the Stars, an amazing song, one of my favorite songs from the Sonic series, especially when it's in the shorter version that's in the intro of the game compared to the longer version for the credits. And speaking of longer versions for the credits, these credits are probably the longest credits in any Sonic game, if I had to guess, because these things run on for like 15 minutes. Oh my god, it's so overbearing and it's so ridiculous. And if there was one big mistake that this game made, it was probably this, honestly. At first, it's super fun running around and homing attacking all these names, because, whoa, this is what we did at the end of every single level throughout the game. Hooray, that's awesome. But after about 10 minutes of it and listening to like the same 3 songs for the duration of the credits, it could have been done a little bit better in my humblest of opinions. But you know what? It's an alright idea, and we can see our little wispy friends marching around at the bottom there. So I don't have that big of a problem with it. Honestly, if I wanted to, I could set the controller down at any moment and be done with them and just let them play in the background while I celebrate my victory over the diabolical Dr. Eggman. But, that's something else I gotta mention. I love Eggman in this game, and I know in modern Sonic games he's been sort of like this, Generations, Lost World. Generally, he's been a little bit more lighthearted than what they were going for in like Sonic Adventure 2, and especially in Sonic 06 and stuff like that. But I absolutely love his dialogue and his voice acting in this game. I know I mentioned it before, but Eggman talks over every single level on a PA. So they keep the mantra of you're in an amusement park, and they play it off well, and it's actually pretty hilarious. And his lines, this might be my favorite Eggman from any game. I'm not entirely certain on that, I'm definitely not sure on it, but I love Eggman in this game. He is absolutely lovable. One more thing I love is that, this game did so many things, of course, being focused on the fun being one of them, right, that other Sonic games in the past had not. And this game sort of set a new direction for Sonic games, and they said, hey, let's cut out all the storyline crap, let's cut out all the extremely obvious gimmicks, and let's just be all about the fun for once. And another thing they did was go back to like sort of the original formula of the Genesis games. If you look at the storyline in those games, it was basically Eggman has captured animals, that's bad, you need to go save them. If you look at the storyline in this game, it's a little bit deeper than that because he's got his mind control beam or whatever, but presumably there was a purpose to his capturing the animals back in the old Genesis games, and here his purpose is to use them for his mind control beam, the aliens replacing the animals this time. So it's a really simple story that allows for focus on the gameplay and for focus on getting attached to the characters, because this time around we've got voice acting that we have to deal with. But you know, I'm sort of just rambling at this point, and if I talk forever and ever about how much I love Sonic Colors, then I don't know, I'll probably end up saying the same things about 400,000 different times, and I think I've said everything of substance that there is to say, aside from one thing. Like I said towards the beginning of the credits sequence, it was your guys' recommendations that led me to play this game for the first time, and thank you all so much for those recommendations. You guys have got some great taste in games, honestly. And if you guys have any more recommendations for Sonic or other games that you think I should play, feel free to leave them at any time. Shoot me a PM, leave a comment down below preferably, because you guys, I thank you all so much for showing me this game. It has been a blast, and I am so glad that I had the chance to Let's Play this all for you. And with that, I would like to, well, first of all, I wish that you guys enjoyed this, or I hope that you guys enjoyed this project quite as much as I did, because this has been one of my favorites so far. It's just easy to sit down and record. It's so leisurely. It's so much fun every single recording session, and I hope you guys have shared some of the same experiences watching. And with that, I would like to thank you all so much for your support throughout this project. This was recommended by you guys, as I've said time and time again now, and you guys have stuck with me throughout the duration of it, and it has performed so well, and I'm glad you guys have enjoyed it so much, and I hope, once again, that you guys have enjoyed it as much as I have. I can't say that enough, because this has been so much fun for me, but once again, I am rambling. It had to happen at some point. Of course, I'm just going to say the same thing over and over, because I'm so grateful to be able to have done this project for you guys. Either way, I've said everything there is to be said. This game is beautiful. It has an amazing soundtrack. It was super fun to play through, and thank you all for recommending it to me and for sticking with me throughout the duration of this project. I can't express how grateful I am. So, thank you all very much for watching Sonic Colors. I will let the credits play out, and make sure you stick around, because there is a lovable Eggman cutscene at the end for those of you who want to stick around that long. And, yeah, thank you all so much once again for watching, and I will see you guys in another Let's Play, in a bonus episode, in a future video, or somewhere, but I hope you stick around nonetheless. Either way, thank you all once again so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. For those of you who are still around, first of all, you're awesome. Here's a cookie. I hope you enjoy it. And leave a comment if you actually made it this far about how awesome that cookie tastes. Second of all, do you think they really had to include, like, every single Sega subsidiary? We've got Sega, Australia, and France, and Spain, and freaking Vatican City Sega, and Czech Republic Sega, and all of that kind of stuff. Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous, but at least we've got our wispy friends to keep us company, and they're pretty cool, chilling around the credits, marching in place as they all do, with very similar facial expressions depending on their color, but it's kind of funny, because you can tell how overdone the credits are once you start looking at the Wisps and start looking at the power-ups that you're given, because these Wisps, there are like 6 Wisps, or 7 I believe, in Sonic Colors for the Wii. Eventually they just start repeating themselves here in the credits, and it's kind of hilarious, because there'll be like lines and lines and lines and lines of one Wisp, and then lines and lines and lines and lines of one color power-up that you can use, and it's kind of funny, because you have to realize that the developers realized at some point, oh my god, these credits are ridiculously long, but what can we do? We couldn't possibly make them any shorter. Nope, gotta have every single name coming in at the same speed and coming in the same way, because otherwise it wouldn't be fair, now would it? It's just hilarious how long these credits go on, because every single song used in the credits could have been used for an entire credit sequence itself. Like, that first one could have been the entire credits. Reach for the Stars could have been the entire credits. This song could have been the entire credits, but nope, had to use all of them in their lengthiest versions. But here we go. At the very end, we've got this last line of Wisps to see us off and to see us back to our home planet. It has been an adventure, guys, and even though I already sort of said goodbye once in this video, thank you all so much again for watching, and especially to those of you who stuck around till the very end. You guys are awesome, and I will see you guys next time in another Let's Play. And there goes Yacker, back to his home. See you guys later.
Faster, you idiot! Faster! Put your backsides into it!
Technically, we don't have backsides, boss.
I don't care! Just push! We have to hurry! I already have my revenge planned out, and next time I will not fail!
Of course you won't, boss. Of course you won't. On the bright side, a certain someone got their voice back.
I feel like my own self! All I want to do is talk, talk, talk! Hey, remember when we were chasing those little alien guys? What's up with those things anyway? They sure were funny looking! Smell good though?
What I wouldn't give for the maddening silence of space right about now.
Sushi, hey, I heard they started using fish! Bummer we didn't bring any with us! Not that we can eat it since we're robots, but we kinda looked at it! I love looking at stuff! I love stuff! The fireworks show game was great! Hey, how did we get all this stuff to blow up like that anyway? Loved it! By the way,